Hey guys, I break down the most jaw-dropping finds from Antiques Roadshow. Only the best, no filler. Plus, I give my take on their current value. What do you think they're worth? Drop your guess in the comments. A sword like this doesn't just end up in a display case. It has a journey, a story, and a family that has carried it forward. This remarkable piece was originally purchased at an estate sale by the guest's friend, an avid collector with a keen eye for historical treasures.
Brought it back to Eugene, and a couple years later he found himself in a little bit of financial straits, and so he offered to sell it to me, and I bought it from him, and I've had it ever since.
Upon further research, the guest uncovered an astonishing connection. This sword traces back to Tsar Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia. Nicholas II was the last reigning emperor of Russia, King of Congress Poland and Grand Duke of Finland from 1894 to 1917. Unlike traditional Russian arms, which typically follow a distinct aesthetic, the ornate decorations on this sword suggest a strong Western influence. Its masterful design features blue and cream enamel, but the true centerpiece is the dazzling array of diamonds set into the handle. Drawing the blade, the appraiser reveals a monogram of the Tsar himself, finely engraved into the steel blade, a testament to its imperial origins. A sword like this was never meant for battle. It is a presentation sword, likely a coronation gift to Nicholas II. Flipping the blade over, the appraiser points out the hallmark of the famed Caucasian arms maker Zunov, a name synonymous with masterful craftsmanship. Given its exquisite details, the appraiser speculates that this may have been Zunov's finest work. However, the sword does have some condition issues. The silver enamel on the lower part of the scabbard is missing, and there is visible damage near the tip of the blade. Even with these imperfections, a rare piece like this would still command a retail estimate of.
And even in this condition, at auction, a conservative price might be $75,000 to $100,000. Whoa!
A warrior's grip, a craftsman's touch, and centuries of mystery. This blade carries more than just steel. This sword has been passed down through generations, originally belonging to the guest's great-grandfather, who served with the Union Army during the American Civil War.
And who was he?
His name was Colonel John B. Reed. He fought in the Civil War and was stationed down in Louisiana and was wounded down there and held prisoner.
The story behind it is nothing short of captivating, as the guest recounts the heroic exploits of her ancestor on the battlefield.
And how did he get this sword?
After he was wounded and held prisoner, the rebels kept his original sword. So he was shipped home to heal after he was released. The town collected money to buy him a new sword.
Although not an officially issued weapon from the war period, the sword was a token of appreciation for his bravery and service. The appraiser immediately recognizes its significance and begins to unravel the history behind this remarkable piece. It was crafted in Solingen, Germany by Klauberg, a renowned company known for producing high-end swords.
During the Civil War, war meant big business. They imported things from overseas, lots of things, everything from buttons to swords. They even brought over cannons.
One of the standout features is the gold wash on the blade, a detail that speaks volumes about its quality and craftsmanship. The sword's handle is made of silver, while the scabbard features brass mounts adorned with intricate eagle decorations. Adding an extra touch of refinement, the scabbard ring, used to attach it to a belt, has a unique twist, a hallmark of superior craftsmanship. At some point in its history, the sword pommel cap was adorned with a ruby, but over time the gemstone was removed by the guest's family as it changed hands.
Yes, it was a ruby, and he had several granddaughters, and one of them pried the ruby out and made a necklace.
Really?
And I wished I knew where it was, but I do know that there was a ruby at one time.
Tying everything together is an inscription on the sword's top mount, which solidifies its provenance and historical value. Aside from the missing ruby, the sword is in impeccable condition, and given its rich provenance, it would have an insurance value of.
I would insure it for $6,000.
Okay, wow, that's great.
A relic of war, a token of victory, this piece wasn't just carried home, it was earned on the battlefield. This guest's father acquired it during the war in the Vomero section of Naples, Italy.
In the Vomero section of Naples, after a bombing during the war, it was found. And he brought it to the people that were in the building that was bombed, and they said to just take it. He sent it home, and we've had it in our home for over 60 years, to my knowledge.
According to family lore, the sword was believed to be a medieval bronze weapon, but the appraiser quickly sets the record straight. Rather than medieval, this sword actually dates back to the first half of the 17th century. It is a Pappenheim rapier, a style popularized by Count Pappenheim, a German field marshal who fought for the Holy Roman Empire during the 30 Years' War. The sword features distinctive cutouts on both sides of the hilt, making it ambidextrous, along with an expanded guard designed to provide excellent hand protection. The rapier is a highly versatile weapon, with its long, slender and lightweight build allowing for both cutting and thrusting in combat. Despite family accounts describing it as a bronze weapon, the sword is actually made entirely of steel, with a dark patina suggesting it may have been exposed to fire at some point. An indistinct marking on the ricasso offers little insight into its maker, but the sword remains in remarkable condition. Given its historical significance and state of preservation, an auctioneer would conservatively estimate its value at
would fetch around $3,000 to $5,000.
That's very significant. Thank you very much.
A family heirloom with a warrior's past, this sword has traveled through time, from battlefield to display case. Passed down from the guest's ancestor, this is a truly remarkable battle sword with deep historical significance.
When I was a young boy, I remember it hanging in my grandfather's den, and then it went to my father, and when he passed away last year, I inherited it then.
The appraiser emphasizes the importance of provenance for swords like this, as the market is flooded with replicas and fakes. Etched into the sword's steel blade is the name of its maker, W.J. McElroy, a brilliant entrepreneur during the Civil War era. McElroy was known for crafting swords and buckles, boldly branding his name on each piece. This particular example is his Confederate cavalry officer's sword, a rare and highly sought-after model. Astonished by its presence, the appraiser notes that this is one of the rarest swords a collector could ever hope to acquire. The sword features a sand-cast guard with intricate floral patterns, a clear indication that it was made for an officer. Its handle consists of a wooden core wrapped in high-quality leather, secured by a single strand of copper wire, a testament to its fine craftsmanship. Bringing it all together is the sand-cast pommel cap, reinforcing the sword's sturdy construction. The blade itself is a masterpiece, featuring ornate decorative etching, a signature trait that set McElroy apart from other makers. Intricate floral and geometric engravings, along with national Confederate flags, adorn the blade, enhancing its striking visual appeal. Even the scabbard carries a matching design, further elevating the uniqueness of this extraordinary piece.
Stands it out from all the others. This one, it's as good as they get. I'm not at a loss for words very often in my life, but this is a sword that will put you there.
In this pristine condition and with its rich history, the sword would command an insurance valuation of approximately...
I would insure this sword for $50,000.
Oh, my Lord. I'm speechless.
With a keen eye for antique arms, this guest scored an incredible find at a pawn shop, a sword with deep American roots and a story to tell. This isn't just any antique sword, it's considered the originator of all American swords, a piece that dates back to the American Revolutionary War. Far predating the Civil War, this sword is estimated to have been made circa 1765 to 1785. It is a classic example of a cavalryman's sword from the Revolutionary War, and its design shaped the future of American military blades. Running down the center of the blade, we see 3 deep grooves, often misidentified as blood grooves.
A lot of people will call those blood grooves.
Right.
But that's incorrect. Those were actually started back in Japan centuries ago as a way of lightening and strengthening the blade.
This detail immediately tells the appraiser that the blade was crafted in Europe, where the finest metals were sourced during that period. Blades like this were imported to America and assembled locally, resulting in the historic weapon we see today. One of its most astonishing features is the handle, made from a single piece of cast brass. Upon inspecting the sword's guard closely, we can see some obvious casting flaws, but the outer surface is expertly finished.
That's because it was a necessity that they get these swords into service. So you finish what you can see, and you leave plain.
The grip is hand-turned from American hardwood, adding to its authenticity, while the cast brass pommel cap secures the entire structure together. In this wonderful condition, this rare Revolutionary War sword would command a retail value of approximately...
This sword today would retail for about $4,500.
Wow.
Steel and sentiment. This sword has been in the guest's family for generations, carrying with it a legacy of service and history. According to family lore, the sword was used in the Spanish-American War, a conflict in which one of the guest's ancestors participated.
He was in the Spanish-American War, and I think he lied about his age. I think he was 15 and he enlisted, and he was in Cuba. So we have a lot of medals and some letters that he wrote and watercolors that he did when he was in Cuba. Sword's just kind of been with that collection, passed down through the family ever since.
However, while the guest is uncertain of its true origins, the appraiser quickly identifies it as a model 1832 short artillery sword. This particular piece was manufactured in 1843 and bears the hallmark of Joseph C. Bragg, a U.S. government inspector responsible for ensuring the quality of these weapons. During this time, swords were rigorously inspected, and those that failed to meet standards were often sold privately or assigned to state militias and smaller contracts. Another key hallmark is found on the handle, belonging to William A. Thornton, an inspector specifically assigned to evaluate the quality of the sword grips. Turning the blade over, the appraiser uncovers yet another hallmark. Nathan P. Ames, one of the most esteemed sword makers of the 19th century. The appraiser advises the guest to confirm the exact year of manufacture, as this particular sword predates the Spanish-American War by 55 years, disproving the family's long-held belief.
There are several research places where you can go and see the actual production date of this sword because Ames kept meticulous records.
Really?
So they can tell you to within 100 swords how many they made that.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Instead, this is a short artilleryman's saber, a model widely produced throughout the 1830s, 1840s, and up until the 1860s. Adding to its significance, the sword comes with its original scabbard and belt, an uncommon find that enhances its value. The leather of the scabbard differs from the belt, with the former being tanned leather, while the latter is buff leather, a material treated with oil for durability. Interestingly, buff leather became rare after the Civil War, as it was typically treated with whale oil, a substance known for its tendency to combust spontaneously. With its impressive provenance and near-complete set, this remarkable Civil War-era collection would command an estimated auction value of.
It would bring between $3,000 and $3,500.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great.
Tucked away in a quiet corner of an antique shop, this sword waited decades for the right hands to claim it once more. Our guest presents a remarkable heirloom, her grandfather's sword, acquired from an antique shop.
Well, my grandfather purchased this near Swindon, England at an antique shop around 1953 when he was stationed there for the Air Force. And that's about all I know. My grandma's had it ever since.
From its design, the appraiser immediately recognizes it as an Indian-made weapon. This is a shamshir, a traditional hunting sword known for its curved blade and exquisite craftsmanship. The intricate metalwork on the hilt is known as koftgari, a technique where gold is inlaid into an iron surface, creating stunning decorative patterns. At the pommel, we see a beautifully crafted parrot, with a gracefully sculpted goose head positioned just above it. The floral patterns on the handle, delicately inlaid with gold, further showcase the exceptional artistry behind this piece. One of the most fascinating elements is a lengthy inscription along the handle, a Persian poem intricately woven into the design. The blade itself is a masterpiece, defying the fine-grained characteristic of Damascus steel, also known as watered steel, prized for its strength and beauty. While the sword remains in decent condition, the blade would benefit from thorough oiling and careful cleaning. After restoration, a magnificent piece like this would carry an auction estimate of.
It's worth about $3,000.
Okay.